Thank you, Ciara. Minister, you're very welcome to the House. I'm very proud to second this motion proposed by my colleague, Senator Niall Blaney, to reconfirm Shannon Aaron's commitment to the Good Friday Agreement and the welcome the shared island unit. As someone who was not old enough to vote for the agreement, I am especially delighted to stand in this House to say, as I believed and my family believed 23 years ago, that this was our way to the future for a better Ireland. Growing up in a border area that has unfortunately seen its fair share of heartache and pain because of what happened over the past 100 years, I know the Good Friday Agreement changed everything. It changed my future, shaped who I am and many like me. We won't be able to count the lives that were saved because of the Good Friday Agreement, but we can certainly count the benefits of what peace brought to us all. In the Good Friday Agreement, we created a plan, a vision, but we have failed to implement all that was envisioned in that plan, and it is down to the failure to cooperate, to accept different viewpoints. Hard lines rarely do anyone any favours. Those divisions still exist, and they are so frighteningly obvious to us when we see the violence on our streets over Easter. We must ask, why are we still so segregated? Why are there more peace walls, more peace walls than ever, for example? Well, to be clear, the two main parties for far too long have focused on only delivering for their own community background, failed to lead all citizens away from one-upmanship, us versus them attitude, that one side's problems are the result of another's gains. This is part of what is stopping this island move on. This lack of leadership and the refusal to appreciate others' viewpoint is holding us back. We must hold our hands up and say say wrong was done. Answers must be given, and one must own what has been done by both terrorist organisations and by the British state. This amnesty announcement of the British government is deplorable. If a country can't stand up and say it was wrong and own the atrocities committed in its name, then how are terrorist organisations going to own their acts of terror when they are supported to hide behind rhetoric just like the British government? The legacy that is still so raw, so hurtful, so divisive, and we need to stop rubbing salt into the wounds of people's heartache and loss. I now look to the future, to the next 100 years, and our children won't thank us if in decades to come we are rehashing the same debate, begging people to show leadership, to work constructively together. We need to detox the symbols, detox our identities, republicanism, loyalism, unionism, nationalism. I am a Republican. I believe in a united Ireland, but I believe in a republicanism that is embodied in our Irish flag and our Irish proclamation. Our flag symbolises peace between green and orange. Our proclamation heralds equal rights, equal opportunities, freedom of religious expression. Whereas all of us are cherished equally, no matter who you are or where you come from. I often look to a local man, Thomas D'Arcy McGee, born in Carningford in 1825. He ended up a member of the Canadian government and is known there as the father of Confederation. He was an advocate for minority rights at a time when politics of ethnic and religious identity were intensely fraught. His core principle is one of unity in diversity. This concept is as relevant today as it ever was, and we will only ever unite through respect of those diverse viewpoints and respect of democratic principles. The centenary commemorations North and South, Brexit and a possible nationalist majority in the North has changed things. And I genuinely believe that the United Kingdom, as we know it, is ending. Scotland are moving closer and closer to independence, and there is even a conversation happening in Wales. And yes, a referendum on constitutional status is provided for in the Good Friday Agreement, but some of us disagree on how we get to that point. Personally, I would vote for unity every day of the week. But this conversation, because of continued mistrust and division, is causing a rise of tensions. The continued exclusion of all voices in the conversation by the same party who failed to work on implementing the Good Friday Agreement brought down the power sharing government 6 months after the Brexit vote, when surely a government to represent the people of the North at such a time would be important. But no, they stayed away for 3 years, failed to represent, ignored what they were being paid to do, and that is to break down barriers, stop the hate, lead and govern. They just heightened the anxiety and built the walls higher. They have done nothing and continue to do nothing to actually bring about a united Ireland. And the continuance of this failure in bringing people together, a failure to create an environment that encourages trust and understanding, just reinforces that segregated society that prevents normal societal mixing and prevents the realisation that we have so much in common and that it is okay to have different aspirations. We need to get on with the work of making people's lives better, of instead of creating more divisions. Get on with the work of the full implementation of the 3 strands of the Good Friday Agreement. Make this entire island stronger, more inclusive, more opportunities for our young people. Create one strong community with different traditions. Then only then will we get away from this ball of us versus them, Orange versus Green and Catholic versus Protestant. The Shared Island Unit offers this opportunity. It is of huge historical significance, and I thank Taoiseach Micheál Martin for establishing it. For the first time in this nation's history, there is a dedicated unit focused on improving the lives and listening to all of us on this island. It is a rejection of rhetoric and instead a real mechanism to move forward the agenda in a way that allows people from all perspectives to participate. We need to listen, recognising and accepting our differences. Projects that have been talked about for 20 years or more are being now driven forward. It is creating a framework, a space for all island civic engagement on a wide range of issues through the Shared Island Dialogue. This is happening, and it is up to all of us to make it work. Today we see Senator Flynn taking part in one to consider the equality and inclusivity on this island. By creating these opportunities through dialogue and trust, we can have a prosperous shared future. The establishment of this unit should not be underestimated and highlights Fianna Fáil's commitment to peace and prosperity on this entire island. Fianna Fáil are committed to creating an Ireland where we can move forward to the unity of our people and our lands. The Shared Island Unit complements the Good Friday Agreement and will be a positive force on shaping our island as we go forward into the next 100 years. Let's face it, we are stuck together whether we like it or not, and we are better off working together. It is no secret that the British government have repeatedly let down their loyal unionist people in the north, and now they have a huge leadership difficulty. And we, down here, we must reach out to them and let them know that their British identity is safe in a reunited Ireland. So, I say no to division and being held back by history. I say yes to